Hello, good morning, good afternoon. I have to make sure that this, you might hear popping. I have to make sure that that's not a thing. I got a new mic, and now Hazard's out. Silly
If you're
guy,
in it with
silly
me,
little guy.
you're in it for life.
There's just a few things I want to go over that he does. He's going to be available for a limited amount of time, then he'll come in the next season, I think. First off, he has like this weird Genji climb, but it's not useful because it doesn't go anywhere. It You can go kind of halfway up the wall, and then you got to use a dash, but most walls you can kind of vault onto, but another problem is that with ledges, I can dash that. You have to do this like weird hold animation to get up, and unlike Genji, if you stop climbing, you'll push back off the wall, which I can show. But if you do it with this guy, you just fall immediately. But if you do it with Genji, you can come back off the wall pretty fast. But Hazard is much slower
If you're in it with me,
and
you're
a
in it
lot
for
clunkier,
life.
and you can't, especially on a ledge. Uh, you can do this. You can immediately hold S and go all the way back here, and then double jump to not fully not commit to getting on the ledge, but be able to peek.
If you're in it
You
with
can't do that
me,
with Hazard.
you're in it for life.
You can you can't even get up there, but you can like kind of do it, but actually I think I can get up there if I put down this wall here.
We'll not be climbing that one.
But you see, if you get to the ledge, it does that. So you can't half peek, which is just what I'm going to call it because I don't know the name for it. But I mean, it's still a useful ability in some maps, but relatively, it's not going to do you anything. It's cool for when you put his wall down, and you can. Well, that was funny. It's cool when you can put his wall down because you can climb on that, and that's kind of the purpose, I think. But at the same time, it's not needed because you have the Alaka dash. More on this thing. So you kind of do a Winston jump, but with not as much distance, and you have that slash at the end, which is a bunch of knockback. Lucio Dream, one could even say. Something else that you can do with it is you can kill your momentum and go and turn around, which I think is really cool because it lets you do this. And it gives you a large margin for error, but it also lets you do some more movement things. Wow, that has a lot of reach.
Bolt ya rocket.
His other ability, his other two, I guess, is the big funny wall, the wall of go fuck yourself. Does damage, knocks people back. You can knock people. Oh, well, I fucked that up. You can knock people into the wall, and it does a ton of damage, which I will show when the fucking longest cooldown ever comes back. But because it hits them for the damage of the slice and the damage of the wall. And your right click is a weird. It's like a Doom block, which is weird because you think your back would be protected. It's not, but it shoots out spikes. And the spikes don't have a limit, like an amount of things that they can hit. Like, I'm not shooting half the spikes at this guy and half of them at this guy. You can see when I do this, it'll kill both of them around the same time. I'll kill both of them at the same time, but my bar was almost gone. Oh wait, hold on.
I'm running hot. Let's go.
Smile. I have to. If I do this, the same amount is used.
Sharp enough.
So he dies in the same time and the same amount is used. So it's just like I don't really understand why they would do that. If he has 5 people in there, it should not be doing the same amount of damage to every single one. There should not be a wall. 70. Oh yeah, it's 70% instead of 90. I think it's 75 instead of 90% because he's also dealing damage to you while he's doing it. But there should not be 5 people in his radius that are taking 3. Like I think you do 250 damage through the whole thing. You can actually test this. Reaper, you have 300 health.
Come on, hit me again.
It does a little bit more than 250 by the looks of it. Soldier.
Try me. Oi, check it.
looked
I'm
like
on
he
fire.
died right as my thing right now. So I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, okay, so
Got another one.
a full charge of this is 250 damage. Um, so that's really good. That's really good. But if it does it to everyone that's in that radius, there's a problem. Um, there has to be some point where even two people's fine, but there has to be some point where this damage does not, you know. Oh, I can't do 250 to a whole crowd. Obviously, it's in this purple radius right here, but that's still a big radius, especially because I have the wall of go fuck yourself. I wall them off, push them into each other, and then I have my way with them. So it's like that's not really fine. His to make up for it though, his gun kind of sucks. It's you can 3-shot 200 HP guys, sure, but these people don't have this big of hitboxes, and it does kind of sad damage for what it is. That being said, I think he's good, but there's a very, very, very big problem. He does not have sustain. Malga had this problem during the playtest, and he sucked. This guy doesn't suck as much because he has more movement and, you know, a wall. But you shouldn't have a tank that doesn't have any sort of way of dealing with this. You see, this is not sustain. That's oh fuck, I'm low. Let's hope that my teammates come and support me. And let's be real, that will happen in ranked games. Probably won't happen in quick play. So, unless you're playing with friends, of course. So what is the combat to this? Your wall is kind of your saving grace. It's kind of your only way to get out if this. What's also pretty cool if you have a full bar of this, you use your dash, you can hold block for almost the amount of time that your dash will come back in. So you do have a get out of jail free card kinda, but you still take damage. I mean, it's not for free, but he needs some sort of sustain. I think it would be kind of cool to give his melee, kind of like a queen thing, to give his melee and his needles some sort of small damage over time and kind of do a queen thing. This guy's absolutely an off tank. Just in his abilities alone, like, oh, I fucked that dash, but like the fact that you can push somebody into a corner, you can slash them, and then just you put up your block and they just can't do anything, they die, is pretty insane. Like this, he couldn't even move back. They would be shooting me. 75% damage reduction, they're dead. Like, you can't escape from that. Which is cool. That's fine, because normally you'd have a bunch of other teammates who would also be shooting you from behind. So it's not broken in the way that you can. Oops, I did that wrong. But it's not broken in the way that you can annihilate people. But he needs some sort of sustain, and it would absolutely be fine to move some of his damage if, like, let's say, it's not a good change. I'm not saying that they should. What the fuck is bro doing, sir? What the fuck? Don't jump! You have so much to live for! No! But,
let's go!
fuck, sorry, that just totally annihilated my brain. He needs some sort of sustain. He can take away some of his damage, but having him have some sort of bleeding effect as well, it would just make sense. Hey man, crystals are sharp, you know. Crystals make you bleed.
I'm on fire.
Hell. But he needs some sort of sustain. It could just not be bleed. He could something needs to heal him. The fact that something doesn't is going to always make him a bad tank. That is like 80% of the reason why Reinhardt is never good, because he doesn't have any sustain. His sustain is his big ass shield, which does work most of the time. Against most characters, that does work. But every character who doesn't have a bunch of sustain has a reason why they don't. D.Va has the fucking wall of go fuck yourself. Doomfist has a shit ton of movement. Sustain. If they gave the horse sustain, I might kill myself. But, in Minecraft, of course. YouTube in Minecraft. Orisa has 3 things of go fuck yourself, of stun that lasts forever if she hits you into a wall, the spear spin, and fortify. She doesn't need sustain. Ramatra is kind of the only one that breaks this. He does have he has a lot of armor, I guess is his copium, because he already has he has a bit in this, and then he has a lot in this, and then he can block. But that's the same thing as Hazard. He blocks. So, oh, I guess. Well, touche. He does have 1,000 health shield, but the shield doesn't save you most of the time. He usually just sits there for a few seconds, then dies. Reinhardt already talked about sustain. I'm gonna this is sustain. This
Why
heals you.
ask
Fuck you.
questions when
He
you
also
can
has shield.
just obey?
That's sustain.
Enemy
He
vector
also has shield.
calculated.
Winston doesn't have sustain, but he does have a big fucking jump that yeets him halfway across the map. And I think that that's acceptable. I don't think he needs it. His sustain is flying away at troubled times. He has sustain with E, and also is the fastest character in the game, and can do this really silly, awesome, super cool thing called I am around. Oh, I'm pissed. I just got trolled. Called I am lay across the map now. Lamau. And Zarya has 2 200 HP bubbles that make her do more damage, and also shield. Hazard has armor, a pretty good amount, but keep in mind he's gonna have 100. I think it's like 100 or 150 more health in game, which I guess is definitely something that could be said. It's just he just has a lot of health, but for an off tank to have a lot of health is kind of cool.
Shouldn't have tried me.
But he needs something, man. You can't Roadhog syndrome it where he's like he has a lot of health, guys. He'll be fine. But Roadhog even has the big suck of life, so it's still not even a very fair comparison.
Come on, hit me again.
But I think that he will be good until people kind of find out counters about him. I think Hanzo's gonna chew him up. I think Widow's gonna chew him up. Obviously, they do to every tank. So it's like Diva, or like Reinhardt. But I think that he will be kind of shat on a lot for potential counters that you can go. Obviously, Widow, Hanzo, Bastion, Schuster's block. Obviously, all the tank busters except for Reaper. Actually, Reaper gets his shit handed to him, and I think it's really funny. For tanks that are good against him, Hog, you hook him into your team, motherfucker dead. Like, the wall ain't gonna do shit, the block ain't gonna do shit, he dead. Queen actually would be good.
Olympus, it's where I say
she wouldn't be good if he counterbled her.
Shake the moths out of your loincloths.
Because it would kind of kill her healing. But because he doesn't counterbleed her... Oh, I fucked that up really hard. I haven't played Queen in a while.
Close, didn't ya?
But because there's no counterbleed, her heal is going to be dominant over his piddly wake of fucking damage. Mauga, obviously, but because any character that doesn't have a shield, Mauga's going to do well against, and that's just the sad truth. Besides Orisa, who I actually don't think Orisa's going to do very well against Hazard because of the funny wall. I think the funny wall, she's going to pop Fortify, and then the funny wall is going to go down, and she cannot get use out of it at all. And then you can jump over it as soon as that Fortify is gone and fuck her up. I think that Orisa has a counter now, other than just being bad because Fortify is bad right now. I mean, I think Ball will be fine, but it's just because he can't reach you. For DPS counters, Cassidy is such a big pain in the ass because of that hinder, but you just put up your block. Obviously, Ana's going to be good against him. Kiri might. So I don't know something. I guess I actually did never show that. Huh? That's funny. His ult is this big line that will root people to the ground. So this guy can't move. And if Kiri can remove that, I think that she'll be good against him. But otherwise, it won't really matter. It's not like she can go through his wall or something. with cleanse. So that, yeah,
That'll cut them up.
it'll be good.
Oi,
This
check
guy's
it.
only available for a
I'm on
limited
fire.
amount of time until the next season, and I think the next season starts like New Year's or something. I don't know when it starts. But yeah, Better Pizza, Papa John's, subscribe or something, you know.